State Project Director of Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, which is the project which implements the various programs in secondary education, that is class 9th and 10th. And Mr. Santosh Birari, he is MD Odisha Knowledge Corporation Limited. He is associated with the department as a knowledge partner. I have also my team member here, Mr. Padhee, and then Sudarshan and Smita, who are with us. So we all together will be making a presentation. Structure would be like this. I will be basically telling about the overall context, where our education department stands in this platform. And then I will be requesting Mr. Birari and Mr. Nirmal Mishra to talk exclusively on one major program which is called as ICT at Schools, which is a flagship program of Government of India in collaboration with Government of Odisha, where around 4,000 number of schools have been taken up. So I was just thinking of what I should be showing, that too, as I just mentioned, after having a sumptuous lunch and then sitting for the session, boring session. So let me start with one small video. Smita will help me to show that video. When we think of ICT or IT, so we also have to have that community in the mind who are using this in our sector. So let me show a small video. All can see the screen? How do you feel about ICT? Love it, it connects my classroom to the world. It frightens me. It makes me busy. It unleashes my creativity. One shouting, one breaking the head, another flying, somebody happy, somebody at least trying. So, friends, let me bring all of you to the context. So, when we talk of ICT, it's a mixture of experience. So, let us have very clear thought in our mind. ICT is not the panacea for all our problems. It is going to help us if we want to take the help of ICT. In that background, I have the presentation. Let's go to the presentation. Critical framework, education to all has three dimensions. One is about the access, where we have the more number of schools, and complementing the access is the equity, because when you say, okay, I have opened up this school, but if it is not accessible to the most vulnerable community, then it is not access. So we should have this. Then we have the quality. Sir, you can come here to encourage us. So the equity, when equity comes, like how we can build up that divide, whether it is urban, rural, whether it is a poor, rich, whether it is a general community and SC/ST community, boys and girls. So all these issues comes in equity, and the quality, which is the major focus in education. Somehow years together we have been focusing lot on infrastructure, lot on various other ancillary requirement, but somehow quality, which is very, very difficult to watch, monitor, plan, had just been the back burner. So the quality, recently if you have read the USR report, anybody have gone through the USR? Just last week it was released by Deputy Chairperson Planning Commission. It is the annual status of education report 2013. It shows how the investment has increased. If you plot the Y and X axis, and the X axis shows the years and Y axis about the quantum of the money invested. So it goes in an upward direction, the quantum of money invested. And the quality you plot in the same way, the quality and the year, it has come down. What does it mean? It makes no sense to me, because if you invest more money, you will reduce the quality. So it doesn't make any sense. Somewhere we have gone wrong because we have not focused on that quality aspect. So the ICT for us, whether we'll be able to get the access to the children, whether we'll be able to bring that equity concept, whether we are able to bring the quality in education, then ICT is for us. ICT is in education, ICT is useful for the education. With that context, I will be mentioning. Then number 2, next slide please. So these are the challenges which Mr. Birari helped me to list out. So we have shown it as a very, understood, nobody contests that this is the benefit of the ICT, and these challenges can be addressed through ICT initiatives and the applications. It can be bigger in the sense we can reach to the maximum population and diversities. It can be better, it can bring the cheaper. It may not be always so, but still having a good teacher at Bhubaneswar and be able to reach every school in the state, it is a cheaper and economical option and also effective. Then faster, no contest on that, and wide accessibility from metros to village, where we can bring reduce the gap between the urban and rural. Then we have a deeper personal experience, because the technology, multimedia experiences have been there, so it is even the personal, but it cannot replace the human beings, but still we can go to a next level. Then the previous one. The biggest advantage of ICT is the equalizing effect it has. Can bring the digital divide what we have. If we reduce that, I think anybody can access anything at par with any privileged person. I think all the topics which we were discussing in the morning about bringing the public delivery system to the people. It doesn't distinguish between or discriminate between the person who has the money, person who doesn't have the money. So this is the biggest equalizing element in our education, so or in any other sector. So this is one of the points which we have taken into consideration. Next please. These are whatever programs we have in the department. I'll start with this. Just briefly I will tell, if anybody has any issue on, or if you want to know more about this program, maybe an interactive session would be doing. As I said, our structure is my presentation, then we'll have a ICT at schools, then we'll open it for the interaction, and be at 4:59 by dot we'll stop it. Okay, will also be, I will be the time manager. So then whatever schemes or program I'll be talking, you can link it to the 3 dimensions which I talked about, whether it is enhancing the access, whether it is enhancing the equity, or it is bringing the quality. So in these levels we are. So ICT at schools, 4,000 number of school I mentioned. The major idea is to address the secondary education both in quality as well as bringing the content to the classroom. So this is one thing, the detail would be there subsequently. Then we have the computer aided learning. When I mentioned, it is not the ICT education but ICT aided education. So how the teachers can use this computer aided learning for their transaction in the classrooms. So it is done through a Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. Most of the elementary schools we do it. So OPEPA has a huge program and it would be done in a case wise. We have 60,000 number of schools, and whatever program we have taken up, it is in a very minuscule. We have around maybe 3,000 plus schools we have. So we have some phase wise implementation. Next please. Then this is child monitoring system. So Mr. M.S. Padhee sir, who is here, he is the person who initiated this process, and it received the Prime Minister's Award for Best E-Governance Application. And we have been piggybacking on that entire initiative which has been taken. It has been linked with GIS school mapping. So all the child tracking system is in place with the real-time monitoring, having the GIS platform. So the people who have audited this recently from the AG office, they were asking how this is utilized. So we could bring all those applications into action. So we said that this is the use in planning, and monitoring, both. Next please. Then online teacher recruitment. This is also one application which we have recently done, because we are the biggest employer in the government. For that matter, any state government education department would be the biggest employer. So when vacancies are filled up, a lot of chaos takes place, because they have to go to the district centers and then they have to give the application and all. Successfully this time, all the recruitment, whether it is the admission in the teacher training education institutions, or it is the recruitment of Shiksha Sahayaks who are primary teachers, we have done it online. And luckily, I say luckily because no teacher recruitment has not gone ahead without a court case, and till now we haven't had that impediment of court cases, because it has been done so smoothly and in a transparent manner. Then we have a private school management portal, that is a mandatory requirement of Right to Education Act, where 25% seats in private schools have to be kept available for the vulnerable community. But this is the biggest challenge. All other RTE compliances we can fulfill because it is under the control of the government. But whereas when it comes to the private schools, we don't have any control, and that proactive disclosure is not happening. So many times they get away by saying that we are not aware of the rules, regulations. So we started this portal, allowing them to declare it suo motu, so that based on that we will be putting it in a public domain, so that people can approach them. There would be a demand. It's a slow process, but at least it has been started. Next please. Then eDispatch system, it is the government of Odisha's initiative, but our department has fully adopted, and it is also there at the district and block level. So we have stopped, department has stopped sending any hard copies. Now all the copies are only transacted through the eDispatch mode. Then IT asset management portal, this is where we can monitor what is being used in the various endpoint, and also whether it is used, misused, what are the people, what is the pattern or profile of users, all those things can be measured. Next please. This is online teacher transfer system. We have already finalized the process but not rolled out. It's very dicey to introduce at the back end of any government. So we are waiting to the right opportunity, because teacher transfer is one issue any government would be having lot of problems. The department spends maybe more than 50% of its time only in establishment of teachers. So this is the remedy we have come out, where the transfer can happen with a more transparent way, where the pulls and pressure would not be playing any role. But it requires a lot of political will to adopt it, but the state government has given us a green signal to go ahead. So if everything goes well, maybe by next March would be putting this in position. Then some of the initiative related to ICT, whatever we have adopted in board exam, the metric examination, we have a lot of issues coming, whether it is the mark sheet, distribution of mark sheet, the calculations, then the application, evaluation, all those things have been computerized. The e-teacher attendance, this is the one we just have put, because the initiative I was mentioning on 3 dimensions which we were seeing, whether it is access or the equity or the quality. At the same time, we also have that too, whether it is a ICT for education or ICT in education. So e-teacher attendance is like we are using ICT for the monitoring, and in Noapada, the collector Mr. Jai Kumar has taken some initiative to introduce that SMS based leave system, where it can be monitored better, unauthorized leaves can be tracked. So this is from my side. At this stage I'll stop here, and I'll request Mr. Nirmal Mishra to take over and tell something about ICT at school. And before I go to the next one, maybe a small video clipping I would like to show. It is in continuation as the first one, where we showed that how the mixed feeling is there. And now when we go to this ICT at school, so maybe we can also think see, watch this and think what should be our approach when we do ICT at schools. Thank you.
Waste time on those who are too far behind to catch up.
I feel that all of my students deserve the chance to learn and grow. One test on one day does not define who they are or could be in the future.
I give them the opportunity to grow by grading every single assignment and giving it back to them the next day with how many they got wrong.
How do you find the time for that? What about eating and sleeping and relaxing?
I am a robot. I do not need such things.
Oh, unfortunately, I don't get a chance to grade everything. However, I do pay attention to how my students communicate about my subject in class. I find that it gives me a better idea of how I can help them.
I help them by telling them what they did wrong.
But do you find ways to help them discover where they got confused?
Of course not. They should be able to figure it out for themselves.
What if they can't figure it out for themselves?
Then they can join the rest of the group in the back of the classroom.
Don't you care about how that might affect how the students feel about themselves? If nothing else, students often act out when they don't understand something and don't feel that they can ask for help.
That is not my concern. I just send them to the office and let them deal with the problem.
I try to keep my students in my classroom as much as possible. Learning occurs in the classroom, not in the office.
Esteemed Commissioner-cum Secretary, School and Mass Education, esteemed Commissioner-cum Secretary, IT, MD, OKCL, the other panelists on the dais, guests of the dais. Madam has already told briefly about ICT also. Today's theme is IT in education. But the most important thing Madam told actually that ICT is not the panacea for all the problems, but no doubt it is a tool for improving the quality of education. Everybody must be knowing that over past few months you must be coming across news items that Government of Odisha in collaboration with MHRD Government of India is implementing the ICT at school project, and at the first phase we are implementing 4,000 ICT labs in the state, and for the second phase we have already received sanction of 2,000 schools. Let us go to the presentation. Why the ICT, or what it is mandated and how far we have gone. So this is all about ICT. This is the term used for the processing, transmission and storage of information and data using modern day technology. Besides, it aims at catalyzing the process of infusion of information and communication technology supported practices which in turn will enhance productivity, efficiencies and an equitable access to education to all and beyond the computer education program. This is the vision of ICT. The ICT policy in school education aiming at preparing youth to participate creatively in the establishment, sustenance and growth of a knowledge society, leading to all-round socio-economic development of the nation and global competitiveness. The policy goal is to create an environment to develop community knowledgeable about ICT, an ICT literate community which can deploy, utilize and benefit from ICT and contribute to nation building, an environment of collaboration, cooperation and sharing conducive to the creation of a demand for optimal utilization of and optimum returns of the potentials of ICT in education. These are certain aims. I don't want to discuss all these aims, but we have categorized the aims as utilitarian aims, social aims, cultural aims and personal aims. This we can go through. The objective of ICT at schools This is most important to establish and teaching and learning ICT environment, empower students with 21st century skills, to empower teachers to use technology for effective and interacting teaching methodology, enabling environment include widespread availability of access devices, internet connectivity and promotion of ICT literacy, then to enable students to acquire skills needed for the digital world for higher studies and gainful employment, to provide an effective learning environment for children with special needs through ICT tools, promote critical thinking and analytical skills by developing self-learning skills of the learners, leading to student-centric learning, promote the use of ICT tools in distance education, including the employment of audiovisual medium. These are certain features in ICT school. The academic records for the years of the students, examination result of the individuals, online student guide to help in the subject difficulties, online library, e-library for reference, online MIS of the school by integrating students database, teachers database and infrastructure facility. These are 4 dimensions of ICT use in schools. This is a tool for use across the curriculum in separate subjects where the emphasis is on the development of ICT related skills, knowledge, process and attitudes. A tool for enhancing students' learning outcomes within the existing learning process. An integral component of broader curricular reforms which will change not only how students learn but what they learn. It will be used as an integral component of the reforms which will alter the organization and structure of schooling itself, a tool to reduce the digital divide that Madam has already mentioned, the gap between the technology rich and technology poor both within and between the societies. These are certain challenges. Besides these challenges, we are also facing certain other challenges. These are the challenges we can go through, but other challenges we could not foresee while implementing the ICT project, because this is an ambitious project and we are implementing ICT in 4,000 schools. We have just listed out the schools, but while approaching the schools we are facing the problems. In some schools we do not have the right denomination of rooms, the connectivity and other equipments what we require for establishment of an ICT lab. Still then we are going ahead, we do not know how far we will succeed in establishing all the 4,000 schools, but we are still hoping for, and hopefully within a month we will be establishing all the schools, 4,000 whatever has been finalized. Then this is the pedagogical aspects, the learning benefits. ICT has the potential to transform learning in and beyond the classroom. It can also in certain circumstances transcend previous limitations of space and time. Students can access enormous amounts of information very quickly. Students can also work at their own pace. Special needs, both remedial and extension, can be offered during the same lesson. Course material can be offered simultaneously in different languages. Students can access quality material irrespective of their geographical location. Academic courses can be offered simultaneously. Students can interact with peers and experts outside the classroom, town and country. ICT offers a host of different tools to demonstrate learning suitable for divergent and different intelligences. Young students have readily accepted the technology. Then ICT can, via multimedia, improve the richness of the learning experience. ICT can also track a student's progress and proficiency at certain skills. They allow the teacher to focus on process rather than product. Diagnostic tools allow the teacher to identify learning trends and problems. Students who work created electronically lends itself to internet publishing and the creation of student portfolio work. This is the 3 types of learning that can go through. It refers to ICT skills, not how ICT can support learning. Then learning from ICT, it refers mainly to behaviorist view of learning. Learning with ICT refers to constructive view of learning. These are some learning outcomes, and go through. Gain an in-depth understanding of the development of ICT in various national and cultural extents. Recognize the potential uses of new technologies to support learning in schools. Develop critical awareness of young people, new digital media skills and their implications for teaching and learning in schools. Understanding the nature and implications of different access to technology for educational and social inclusion. So this is the new role and advantages in education. After introduction of ICT, students' new role as a self-learner, team member and knowledge manager. Teachers' new role as designer, trainer, collaborator, team coordinator, creator and evaluator of knowledge. Technology facilitates the updating of educational materials, confirms the interaction between the teachers and students. Technology provided the chance to teach and learn anytime and anywhere. It removes obstacles. Technology allows students to have more control over their own learning, to think analytically and critically and to work collaboratively. ICT at school in Odisha, I have already mentioned that we are implementing 4,000 schools in Odisha. This is implemented through boot model, build, own, operate and transfer basis, and this model has been adapted to maximize the coverage in the shortest possible time. Schools has been finalized and implementation started at school level. OKCL, Odisha Knowledge Corporation Limited, is our technical partner and nodal agency to implement the project on behalf of School and Mass Education Department. The e-content for class 9 and 10 is under preparation as per the state syllabus. Process of teachers training has started. ICT scheme benefits to 4,000 government and government-aided schools. In this connection, I want to mention that this is applicable for government and government-aided schools, not to private schools. And the beneficiaries will be 5.59 lakh students and around 30,000 teachers. This is the breakup. In our state, we have 9,978 schools, out of which 4,978 is government and 2,634, total 7,612 are government and government-aided schools. In government and government-aided schools, we have planned to implement this ICT lab. So far, we have got sanction of 6,000 and 4,000 are now under implementation, and 2,000 will be implemented during the next financial year. These are the districts where we have provided ICT lab in schools. The entire state has been divided into 6 zones and is being implemented by our boot vendors, boot operators, ILFS and TCIL in all the 6 zones. 5 zones have been awarded to ILFS and 1 zone to TCIL. ILFS is executing ICT in 3,409 schools and this is TCIL is implementing in 509 schools. So what equipments we are providing, you can see here. These are the desktops, tools, accompanying devices, 10 webcam, integrated computer projector, that is the CAN machine, interactive whiteboard, multifunction printer, online UPS, support stabilizer, silent generator set, computer table, cans, billing pen, tablet, all these things are provided in ICT lab. And we are also, we have tried out this equipment plus manpower in this implementation of ICT lab, because we are also providing all these equipments and one computer coordinator in each school, so that this can be made functional smoothly, and hopefully all this process will be over by February of 2014. Thank you.
We just speaking. I'm very much thankful for the organizers for organizing such a beautiful managed event for sharing of ideas for better education in the state. We are the implementing partners of the RMSA for the ICT at Schools project. The task given to the OKCL for the project is bring upon technology to assist administration as well as education or learning. We did and are doing the same for procurement of hardware and software, monitoring, imparting education to the students as well as teachers of the state. I shall be more talking on learning rather than education, because education is a process of imparting knowledge, values, skills and attitudes, while learning is a process of adopting the same. So if the learner is learning, which the word learning, if you remove L, has inherent earning in it, so it is more impactful than getting educated. The major focus is to train 9th and 10th standards Odia medium students using technology as a tool. Here, the students will be learning his own subjects like science, geography, maths, history, using computers and not usage of computers. This comprises a bigger threat for the project getting impeded by the teachers who may take this as a replacement for them. So we need a system that involves teachers' enthusiasms more than the students, and here lies the future of the project. I have worked as a professor in one reputed engineering college for almost 10 years, and by means of that experience, I can surely tell you that the most detested part for a teacher is to check the question papers. So the focus of the entire e-content is partly on inform type and mainly on perform type. The emphasis is to use continuous comprehensive assessment. Here we are assessing the students rather than evaluating. Assessment motivates learning, teaching and outcomes. It provides information for refining learning and teaching, while evaluation focuses on grades. The continuous comprehensive assessment is conceivable only using technology. For an example, I'll give you one example. Say multiple choice question. Here only one option is correct, and if the student selects that, he will be confirmed as passed and the evaluation ends. But in assessment, even the incorrect answers are also mapped with some thought process. All the options are carefully crafted. If the student clicks correct option, gets full marks. But if he selects wrong one, the system tells him exactly where he went wrong and how he should think, thus making his concepts more clearer. So even every mistaken choice, we have the probable error that the student might have made or about the process thought of. I do not think this is possible for any teacher handling a class of even 40 students to explain each and every student where and how he went wrong. Only technology can make this thinkable. We can even make use of multimedia to make the concepts clearer. If the students are able to answer the questions correctly, system can throw a next question with greater difficulty level and so on. The task is to build tons of questions like this. The challenge was and is to accommodate an average of 300 students using only 10 computers. This is likely to be when 4 students will share one computer. We have converted this challenge into an opportunity by bringing gamification in the process. First student from the group of 4 students will be asked an MCQ. After his click, the same question gets forwarded to the next student in the group asking his opinion about the answer first student has given. Then the third and then the fourth. This initiates discussions amongst the students, also boosting the teamwork. Thus, technology can be used by the teachers for this continuous comprehensive assessment, which otherwise is difficult. Educating the teachers is being done the way adults are educated. There are 4 layers of teaching teachers training. The first level is about handling the computers and other accessories, which is to be done at school level face to face. The other level is about use of IT. Now this is scenario based training where we have built number of scenarios like preparing a lecture on functioning of heart. Here the teacher will be taught the best use of application software in stepwise manner. This definitely is not a 5 days task but may require more than a month. So we have planned to prepare the training modules and to telecast the same over Doordarshan on daily basis so as to engage all the teachers across the state. The same training modules will be made available on YouTube as well as on the local server of the schools. The training will be evidence based, so the teachers will be assessed on how they perform or build some scenarios. This is something learning by doing. By using cloud computing, the conceptions of the teachers can be shared with others to have learning by sharing. The third and fourth level of training will be maintenance of hardware and development of e-content. We assume that the entire hardware is fixed in the schools by the teachers themselves and the e-content to be developed by Odisha teachers. The main challenge for all this is the hectic schedule of the teachers as well as the students, and thus resulting a big task to frame timetable for both. By now, the teachers and the students exerts in routine. We need to motivate them about the optimum use of technology. I conclude my session with an optimistic thought of bridging the knowledge divide by making obtainable to each and every student and the teachers of Odisha the same Wikipedia, Google and the gadgets that the rest world applies. Thank you.
You can get up and introduce yourself. I think somebody is there who can take the cardless mobile microphone to them. Just introduce yourself and ask the question precisely.
Good evening, everybody. I am Dr. Srinivas from Puri. I heard about the plan of introducing ICT in schools of Odisha, but it is my view that there are many plans implemented in the schools. Because as a teacher, I am working as a teacher educator in Sri Sadasiv campus. I have visited many schools, but the schools are having lack of facilities. Even the classroom is not equipped with a tube light. If the climate is cloudy, the students can't read the books. And I have observed a school near Chandanpur that a company came forward and implemented the solar power to the school, and there are more than 20-25 fans and LED lights available, but due to lack of maintenance, only 10% of them are working. So how do you implement the ICT project in such an environment? There should be some roadmap, there should be some clear guidance.
But so far as ICT is concerned, we are providing everything in the ICT room. Only the thing is that the school is to provide one room, and that room will be furnished totally, completely with fan, electricity, exhaust fan, everything, and connectivity for this electric and internet connectivity, and generator is also provided there, and generator having UL facility also for 3 hours every day for 5 years. It is a project for 5 years in good model, and everything has been taken care of for 5 years. So the school has nothing to do and nothing to pay also for it. Every day the school, even if there is no light, the school can run the ICT lab through the gen set using the 3 hours petrol what we are providing for 3 years. I believe so far as ICT is concerned, your concern is addressed.
Anybody else?
Yes, one.
Solutions. It, as you said, like it's not a 5 days program for training the teacher, because ultimately this solution will be delivered through the aid of a teacher. The computer system and the IT solution will be facilitating it. It becomes really difficult to have this change, and if you adopt a trainer concept or the cloud computing concept which you said, like, would you just explain us more how you are going to adapt to this change through a training approach for this?
As I said, per school, so we'll be taking care of the introductory sessions. Then the advanced sessions, those will be like inform type as well as perform type. Like we will be giving information about how to do how to build that scenario. For an example, how to create one greeting card, how to send letters to the parents. This is one scenario. Now, if this teacher goes to the school in this ICT lab, he will be asked to perform that particular scenario, what he has seen on the television. The same content will be available on YouTube as well as the server. So, that will be evidence-based learning. So, that will be the second layer where we are building more than 400 scenarios, and that also required for the school teaching. Okay, so we will build these evidences, and it will be something he can go on repeating the things. Computer can give hints to get it corrected. So like this, we have with experience of this evidence-based learning as well as inform and perform type of learning. So, and the third and fourth, that will be the advanced stage. But definitely first will be face to face, and the second will be some evidence based.
Exhausted? Any more questions?
Good evening, Chaudhary, Principal, Gajapati Polytechnic, Padhee. My question is, most of the students after passing 10, the only problem is communication and non-convergent in English language. And depth of knowledge is secondary factor regarding their physics, mathematics, chemistry or computer. So how they can be made more communicated with English when they pass 10th class in Oriya medium? There is more of a problem by which they used to fail in subjects like mathematics, physics, chemistry. In the first semester, maybe in first year or plus 2.
Like more subject they have added. Apart from the syllabus, ODI syllabus, we have added this communication English also. So we are going to take care of the communication also. That will be used in learning is more important. Like we will be using inform as well as perform type of learning or teaching. Like for an example, you take an example of functioning of heart. Say for a traditional teacher, even if though he is excellent in training or teaching, with a chalk and blackboard, it takes almost half an hour to just draw the drawing of that heart, and then with the help of arrows, he will be able to explain the things. Now use of ICT, the ready-made multimedia clip will be available. So few seconds, he can explain the same concept using that multimedia animations. This is inform type. Now what will happen? This will bridge the gap. So previously, the same syllabus, it was taking, say for an example, n minutes. Now it will take, say almost 1/100 n. Okay? So the teacher can give additional information to the students. One more thing, like second important thing, the concepts will be more clear. Third important thing about the perform type, where it is not only the mugging takes place when there is only one correct answer. We are not giving any liberty to the students to think. Okay, like here I discussed MCQ, all the 4 options. Here the computer or the ICT tool, it is going to tell the student where his thought process went wrong. Like he can immediately recover or discover, I went wrong from that particular step, third step. That's why I concluded with this particular option which is wrong. Okay, this is very advanced sort of a with the help of technology. This is only possible. Otherwise, testing the students or teaching them or giving the solutions where he went wrong is difficult. So we think this is going to help. And definitely, I assure the inputs that to your college will be the excellent.
Just to supplement what my colleague mentioned, you are talking to 2 administrators and 1 engineer, not pedagogical experts. So let us be very frank that whatever level you are talking, we have taken the pedagogical inputs and we have tried to incorporate in our ICT programs when we prepare the content. See, where there is a one-way flow of information from teachers to student to the level of constructivism, which is the highest level, where children themselves construe the knowledge and teacher will be facilitator. So that is the level we are thinking, but where the first question where it was started, that whether our classes are conducive for it, whether our PTR ratio will allow us to do it in one class, 3 grades, 1 teacher, 50 students, whether it would be possible for us to bring that much of change in the classroom. These are the biggest challenges. We don't have a solution. We are thinking what best could be the solution in Indian context. So because you mentioned about the flow of how the one level to another level, how they can go, I have a small clipping. I think that will address some of the issues which we are discussing.
classroom of tomorrow.
District. Actually, we have implemented the e-district project for Odisha, and we have encountered many problems regarding the internet connectivity. From your presentation, actually, I came to know that the ICT project majorly depends upon internet connectivity. But currently, in the most remote areas, the internet connection is not being available. So, is there any roadmap being prepared for connectivity progress for this project?
To provide connectivity, either through broadband connectivity in copper lines, or by 2G or 3G, or else in case there is internet connectivity cannot be met through this, then we will be providing dongle for internet connectivity. So we have already explored all the possibilities, and we are also taking the help of BSNL, and BSNL is also trying, and most probably will provide, and maybe the case that 80-90% schools can be covered and 5-10% schools cannot be also covered through broadband connectivity, and other facilities can also be provided.
Offline, how we can use
The system that we are using is quasi-online sort of thing. Quasi-online means we don't need continuous internet, or we need small patches to be transferred. So we can transfer those patches at the end of 1 week. Okay, like we can get it copied on pen drive or even on CD or DVD, and we can get that DVD to a place where we have internet connectivity, copy it and upload it. Similarly, the same case about download thing. We can provide like pen drives, or very small patches are required. Even the dongle can work, or even like not continuous internet connectivity is not required. I mean to say, offline it will be working as offline thing. We can at the end of week we can get the data and upload it.
Asking last question, so you can ask.
Technology and the work done by the department, but the thing is, I have only one small doubt, that the doubt is with the attitude of the people with whom you are going to implement the project. Normally, ma'am, the teachers in the high school, even in the polytechnics also I have observed, in the engineering colleges, maybe in the offices or government offices also, people, there are two groups, distinctly different groups of people. Some are computer literate and some are not computer literate. And those who are computer literate, they are different, and those who are not computer literate, those they can become computer literate, but they don't want to be. And that creates a problem everywhere in the administration, in the colleges, in the offices, and I am also very apprehensive that this type of problem will create a big problem. This syndrome will cause a big problem in implementing the project. I have a small doubt only. It's no question. Thank you.
Whether it is possible for at least to train 10 teachers of a single school. So roughly you will be training 40 or 50,000 teachers also. Besides that, we are also providing a computer coordinator for each school. He will also facilitate and also give teaching to school teachers also. And whenever there is a lab there in place, they can also make practice and see. But we cannot certainly, if there is some bad intention, we cannot eliminate that bad intention, but certainly there is the motivation factor that will work, and will try to motivate all the teachers not to be in any divide, but to work in tandem so that the project will succeed.
Being part of this session and being a very patient and attentive participants. I thank on behalf of my department, from all my team members here, a wonderful evening for all of you, and I hope this initiative of IT department will raise a lot of enthusiasm among the members who are actually involved in education and many other sectors we would be discussing today. And I thank the organizer for giving us this opportunity. And the attitude in last question he was mentioning, I think I had a small video, it is not available in this thing, otherwise I would have shown. The video actually shows about everybody's purpose in life. All of us have some intention with purpose in our life. I think if we focus on what we should be doing, what we should be contributing to the society, so that will actually bring the change. So if one of us, if we decide that okay, we are going to bring some positive change in this world and make this world a better place, I think nobody is going to stop us being the great planet in this entire globe. Thank you very much.
Motive in future without criticizing anyone's works. So I would just like ma'am to facilitate the momentum forward. I request Mr. Mishra to...
I will call 3 members of my team. I will hand it over. On my behalf, they will do.
So after that...
In time?
Yeah.
Ahead of time?
No,
Thank you.
so now we are moving to our next session.